Tenor saxophone players. This video is all about going over the basics because you may not have played a lot over the summer and we were remote before then. So I just want to cover some just general things to help you get back into shape in case you've missed some time. So the first thing I want to talk about is reeds and how reeds work. So before you put your reed on, you're going to want to assemble your saxophone. You don't necessarily have to do this, but it helps sometimes to put the mouthpiece on the neck first and to get that into place, close as you can. It's just a lot easier to do it without the ligature on the mouthpiece. Now, later on, if you have the ligature and everything on, you try to put it on the neck, you just end up ripping the ligature off anyway. So once that's on there, it's going to be time to put your reed on. So you should have wet your reed 20 seconds or so in your mouth, get some good saliva on it. First thing I'm going to do is put the ligature on the mouthpiece before the reed. And you do that because if you put the reed on first and then you put the ligature on, 9 times out of 10, that's how people's reeds are getting cracked, and you're not getting the full value of them, to say the least. So my ligature's on my sax mouthpiece, and I fit the reed in between the ligature and the mouthpiece, and it's there. Now all this should be really loose. Your ligature should be nice and loose to be able to move it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 2 hands like this. I have a thumb down here, my thumb, and a second finger up here. Now I can move this reed left and right on the top here. Right? And on the bottom, with this finger here, I can move the reed up and down with my thumb down here, right? So between those 2 things, you kind of set the reed right. Now, where you generally want the reed, when you get it set, you can tighten your ligature. You're going to want to make it so that you can see a little bit of black if you're looking at the reed straight on. So right up at the top here, you see a little bit of black on the mouthpiece, right? And the reed here. That's the general spot that you're looking to get it on. Now, it depends on the player and the reed even, where it should be. So if you have the reed higher, if I move the reed up, the saxophone's going to have more resistance because I'm working against more reed. So when it's a little bit higher, it's going to be a little harder to play, but you might like that sound better. Likewise, if I move the reed down to where it's lower than where I showed you, the saxophone will have less resistance. It'll be a little bit easier to blow through it, but you might not like that sound. It'll be a thinner sound, right? So one thing you may have also noticed is that you didn't notice a difference at all. I mean, I moved the reed higher, I moved the reed lower from this spot that it should be in, but it's so small, it's so minuscule that you may not have even noticed it, but it makes a huge difference in how you sound and how it feels to play the saxophone. So if you feel like you're not comfortable playing, it's either just a little too hard to play, maybe way too easy, instead of just throwing out your reed, which is probably what you've done before, you might want to try just changing the position where it is on the saxophone. You might find that where it is in its new spot, it will be like a whole new reed, and you'll be able to play on it a lot longer. All right, so that's some assembly tips and the reed, and now we're going to move on to how to sit and hold the saxophone. You sit and the way the saxophone goes into your mouth and is kind of lined up on your body plays a major role in getting out a good sound on the saxophone. So you'll notice your saxophone neck here is curved. And the reason why it has this shape is because it's supposed to go directly into your mouth, straight on. So, when I'm holding the sax up, the mouthpiece should be flat and straight in my mouth. It shouldn't be like pointed downward or off to the side and like, this or anything like that. It should just go straight in. And how you get that to happen is, first of all, you put the sax to your side. Alto is debatable sometimes, but tenor sax is always played on the right side of your body. And actually, you want to make your strap so that when it's big enough so that when you stick your right arm out, so you should have your right arm in as close to an L shape as possible. You never want it behind your back. Your elbow should never go behind your back. Or when you push it out, it should push it directly to your mouth, and you adjust your strap from there. A lot of people have their strap too low when they play. So if you go to put it in your mouth, all of a sudden it's hitting your chin. Well, then you have to search for your mouthpiece. You don't want to do that. Your saxophone should come to you. You're the human here. It's the inanimate object. Right? It shouldn't be controlling you. It just goes right to your mouth like that. And when you're sitting, you should be sitting up straight. It's because you have to use a lot of air to play a tenor saxophone. So your air is be able to come from your belly all the way up through your body, out your mouth, and through the saxophone. If you're hunched over or in some kind of weird yoga pose or whatever, when you're playing, the air is not going to move through your body the right way. And if they can't get out of your body the right way, there's no way it's getting through this big instrument the way it needs to be. So you want to sit up straight, saxophone to the side. You push your right arm out close to an L shape, right, and it should line right up onto your mouth when you're playing. All right, well, that's it. In order to get a good sound out on the tenor saxophone, a lot of stuff has to happen. First of all, your posture and the way you're holding the saxophone and the way it lines up in your mouth. All the stuff I talked about just a second ago all plays a major role in getting a good sound out. But once you have that, and that sax is going directly to your mouth and your elbow is not behind your body, you're all set. You're ready to make your embouchure and get ready to start getting a great sound out of the saxophone. So the embouchure is the way your lips, your muscles in your face and your mouth work, to form around the mouthpiece to put pressure on the reed and support your air and your sound. And to do that, you're going to smile. So you have this smile thing where the corners of your mouth are pointed upward, right? And that's going to put pressure from the bottom onto your reed, right? Your bottom lip is going to curl just over your bottom teeth ever so slightly. It's not like a major thing. You're not throwing your whole lip on there. And your top teeth are going to be on top of the mouthpiece. So it's a little vague to say that your top teeth go on top of the mouthpiece. In reality, if you're pushing your saxophone out the way you're supposed to be, you're actually pressing the mouthpiece up against your top teeth. So it's here, and I should be able to move my lower jaw up and down. And that's how you breathe on the saxophone. You drop your lower jaw. So the pressure from the mouthpiece is here, and I just do a breath like that. That's how you breathe on the saxophone. You don't want to go through the corners. You don't want to look through the eat the saxophone kind of breath. You just drop your lower jaw and take in as much air as you can. And the only way you can do that is if you're holding the saxophone correctly and the pressure is up against your teeth. All right? If you think about it like down on the bottom, you can't really control your lower jaw. That's going to hurt you in the end. You're not going to be able to breathe right, and you're not going to be able to really move your tongue right and get the notes out that you want right. So on your top teeth. That bottom lip's covering, you're smiling, right? And you're just going to play a B. We'll start with a B. So take a listen what it sounds like. So when I play that note, I've done so many things before I did it. First of all, I'm sitting up straight. Saxophone's to my right. My right arm is pushing the saxophone out close to an L shape, and the elbow is definitely not behind my body. My arms aren't touching anything, right? You don't want to get in the habit where you're on the armrest or you're sitting in some cockamamie way with the left arm on the leg, right? Your arms shouldn't be touching any part of your body when you play, right? I had the saxophone pushed out, so it's on against my teeth. I drop my lower jaw when I breathe, and when I play, I smile, right? That bottom lip's over the bottom teeth, top teeth, right, are on the top part. That's how you end up getting a good sound out on the saxophone. So when I communicate with people and I speak, I'm going to enunciate syllables and words and separate them. I'm not going to slur them all together. So if I asked you, hey, how are you doing? I would do it in one breath. And the shape of my mouth and my tongue and my lips, that's what separates the syllables, right? I wouldn't use one breath for each syllable. Hey, how are you doing? Right? That's not typically how we do things when we speak to each other. When we make a statement, we use a breath to say it. The same thing applies to music. When you have a phrase or a statement in music, you're going to use one breath to convey it, or as close to that as possible. You're not going to do separate shots of air for each note. And the way you separate those notes when you're playing is something called tonguing. So when you're tonguing on a saxophone, you're using your tip of your tongue and you're thinking of the word two, 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 two. What your tongue does when you say the word two. So when the mouthpiece is in your mouth, the tip of your tongue is going to hit right below the tip of the reed. Don't try to hit on the top of the reed. It just doesn't work out. You get a little splinter. It's unpleasant. Right below the tip of the reed. And what that does is your tongue ends up interrupting the air, getting in the way of the air, which is always moving, and that's how you separate the notes. So if I tongue 4 B's on a saxophone, right, that's what it sounds like. And you hear the sound just keeps moving. That sounds a little weird. That had a key down. So the air is just always moving, and the sound is always happening, and the tongue is just getting in the way. If I was puffing, using a separate shot of air for each note, right, it sounds like kind of like it's honking a little bit, and you don't want that sound. And plus, when you're tonguing, you can move around so much faster because you can end up playing notes repeatedly at a faster pace than you could breathing. So separating the notes with your tongue is really, really important. And thinking about that word two, to get the idea of what your tongue does. When you think of the word two and you're saying two, try not to ever drop your jaw. Your lower jaw shouldn't move when you tongue. Should all stay in that same spot. Now, you may have heard of tonguing before and you don't do it or you're not used to it. So something that can help you do that is just playing an exercise where you hold a note out for 4 beats and then you play 4 separate attacked tongue notes on each beat. I'm going to show you on B. So I'm going to hold a B out for 4 beats, and then I'm going to do 4 separate notes with tongue. Just like that. And the reason you do that exercise is because of air. So what people tend to do is when they tongue, they tend to stop the air and start a new stream. So the reason you hold out the note beforehand is so you get used to the fact that you do the same thing with your air when you tongue that you do when you hold a note out. It's just always moving and your tongue is interrupting it. So try that with me. You play a B on your tenor sax. We're going to hold it out for 4 beats and then do 4 separate attacks, all right, on B as quarter notes. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. See, and the sound should always be happening. And you can do that on all different notes. You can do it slower or faster. Just try to get used to the fact that your air is always going to move when you tongue. A lot of people don't have trouble tonguing. They have trouble making sure that their air is in motion. So hopefully that helps you out with tonguing. So to end things off, we're just going to do a little exercise. It's going to incorporate all the stuff that was covered in this video. And the exercise is pretty simple. We're just going to play a G scale, going up and going down. Now on our way up, we're going to slur the notes. And on our way down, we're going to tongue them, separate them with our tongue. And we're not going to repeat the G at the top of the scale. We're just going to go up and down. And the notes will be at the bottom of the screen here if it helps you follow along. So take a listen to what it would sound like. It's going to be... So as you play that, so a lot of you are probably very familiar with the G scale. You may be familiar with slurring and tonguing and all those things. But think about all of the other small stuff that was talked about in this video. Make sure you're sitting up straight with good posture. Make sure your right arm's pushed out. The mouth crease is up against your top teeth. Your lower jaw can move and you'll breathe by taking a breath like that. You got the smile going on. Right? Everything's lined up straight, saxes to the side. All of those little things. Use the tongue to interrupt the air on the way down. All right? We're going to try this G scale without repeating the top note. On the way up, we're going to slur. On the way down, we're going to separate the notes with our tongue. Here it comes. 1, 2. 1, 2, ready, go. Right, so if you can do that, no problem, then you pretty much have the basics of the saxophone down and you're ready to move on to some more harder stuff. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.